Welcome to JumpStart's monthly webinar series. Today, our topic is AI that actually saves you time. I'm Ed Valentin Lugo, and I serve as JumpStart's media coordinator. JumpStart strives to provide you with access to the knowledge and resources you need to make your small business bigger and better. Visit our website to explore some of the other educational opportunities for small business and tech companies. Before we introduce our presenter today, a few housekeeping items. This presentation session will be about 60 to 90 minutes with additional time set aside for Q&A. Our presenters may ask you to participate throughout, so please place your comments in the chat. Please make sure that your responses are going to everyone, not just host and panelists. You may need to make the selection in the chat drop-down menu. You can also see the Q&A, which is a great place to put your questions as they occur to you and ensure we can address them at the end. At the end of today's session and in a follow-up email, you'll receive the slides, the recordings, and any additional resources relevant to the webinar, and a brief survey. We appreciate your feedback as it allows us to continue to bring in experts and entrepreneurs to teach valuable lessons. All right, without further ado, allow me to introduce our presenting subject matter expert today, Tushar Kulkarni. Tushar is a technology leader and venture builder with a 25-year track record of managing high-stakes projects across the globe. As the founder of Big Kitty Labs, he has spent 15 years delivering cutting-edge software and hardware solutions that drive meaningful impact in industries ranging from sports and medtech. A specialist in product architecture and digital strategy, Tushar holds multiple advanced degrees that inform his rigorous approach to project delivery. Beyond his role at Big Kitty Labs, he serves as an angel investor and strategic advisor, leveraging his extensive experience to help early-stage companies navigate the transition from initial ideation to successful market entry. Tushar also serves as CTO and ETA, the fastest-growing AI event in the US. And without further ado, I'll pass the mic over to Tushar.
Well, thanks. Thank you, Ed, and thanks for that generous introduction. And I see we have quite a few folks here today. Thank you, everybody, for joining, and thank you again for the opportunity to get together. And the way I try to present this, each presentation, I I try to make it a little bit more interactive because this is such a rapidly evolving field, especially in AI, that um, it's very hard to stay on top of everything. So there's every day there's an opportunity to learn new things. Like I will show some slides and I'll also show you a couple of tools I myself learned today when I was discussing it with some of my colleagues. But thanks again for joining. My name is Tushar Kulkarni. I'm uh, founder and CEO of a company called Big Kitty Labs. I do see quite a few familiar faces in the attendees, so a big hello to everybody who's joined. So today's conversation. So we at Big Kitty Labs, like one of the things so our primary business is software designing, developing, supporting, and um, we have been um, working on AI in some shape or form since I would say almost 2010. And that's the first time we started tinkering with natural language processing. We were trying to streamline information management, and we had created quite a few products. Of course, in those days, there were really none of these fine-tuned LLMs that we have easy access to. So in those days, we used some MIT-based frameworks and yeah, worked with different NLP guys. But from there on, like so, we're a heavy engineering team. So, but needless to say, over the years, we also got into internal product development. So we also have our own products. And one of the things that fascinated me with AI is that um, it is changing. It's like electricity. It's changing everything that we see and touch. And every day I'm finding newer and newer uses to apply AI in our everyday life. And the reason why I thought of, this talk is a continuation of our previous conversation that we had a little over a week ago. So I do not know how many folks were folks were able to join that one. But this is a little interesting because I was just talking to Ed that pretty much everybody has adopted AI to some extent in our circle. I'm not saying folks. So I'm talking about folks that are founders like me or that are we have the luxury of being so close to tech that bunch of us, all of us here on the call, and everybody that is in our circle got exposed to AI in some shape or form, 4 years ago, from OpenAI to Anthropic and so forth. So since most of us are familiar with GPT and some other tools that we use every day, it was really hard to put some slides together to see like, okay, what can we discuss on this call? So one of the things I would love for everybody to say is like chime in with better ways of doing things as I go through these slides, because I'm sure by the end of this call, I would have learned myself 20 new things, way of doing things. So one other thing, so we all know that AI helps to automate repetitive tasks. We all know that all of us have certain workflows that require automation, and there are quite a few other workflows that need human in the loop, or where there's compliance needs, or there is monetary impacts, and then several other things. And one of the things I will do in the slides is I borrowed a slide from our last conversation that talks about which areas we can probably uh, there's a scorecard kind of method that it's a very high level one, but that helps you understand which flows can be at least at this moment, like, can be automated with AI, and which ones need usually human in the loop. Again, it's not binary. Like, I'm sure there are certain flows where you can fully automate and so forth. But that being said, let me do a little bit of deeper dive. I'm assuming that everybody is familiar with uh, the basic tools that we use, GPT and basic prompting and so forth. So one of the things I started doing, so this webinar is a little bit different than the one we had last time, because our last time was around which workflows can be and should be automated versus which one should not. Whereas the topic of this one is, okay, like, can does AI really save you time, and and how like, how to use and identify different AI tools that actually helps you save time. So one of the things I often mention is that there are quite a few publications on an average, like, it's like, for example, folks like us that are in the entrepreneurial world, like founders or developers or product managers and so forth. Like, so all of us have access to an array of tools. Quite a few of them are free. So on an average, there are a bunch of surveys. So let me start sharing my screen. Here we go. And what I will try to do is I will try to. I know, like, just me one way talking gets a little bit, uh, you know, uh, it could get a little bit of mundane for everybody. So what I will do is I'll try to uh, go through the slides, some of the tools, some of the use cases, things that I use, and things that we have learned, like, throughout the journey in the past 4 years, 5 years. And I would love to open up the session so we can have a very nice discussion. So that being said, here's okay. Let me yeah, I'm sharing my screen. Yeah, here we go. And so this is the slide. These are the slides that yeah, so can AI save you hours each week? And so this is the kind of like a high level agenda that we'll be going through. Um, so roughly, like, where does that number come from? How many hours you can usually get back? Different tools, different examples, and so forth. And the usual things. And most of this stuff, I completely agree that, like, you might already know some of this stuff, but I thought, why not, like, there could be some folks that everybody has a different way of using things. Like, for example, a bunch of us have moved on to Anthropic-based tools in the last a few months or so. But even with that, we keep switching back and forth And but that being said, like feel free to chime in and let us know if there are any better way of doing things, and we would love to learn that. So I was going through different studies. So everybody knows that there's around like 10 hours you can easily get back using AI tools. And so I was trying to, for this webinar, I was thinking, okay, which study I can cite because there are quite a few studies that range between 7 hours to 11 hours. And one of the ones, the closest one I saw, which was pretty decent, was McKinsey's. And uh, this was the interesting breakup that I saw that like like usually and I'm assuming that everybody here on this call is juggling 20 things like I do and everybody does. And so the goal is to deploy all of these tools that are easily accessible to us, and many of them are free. Many of these things are free. So like email is a massive burden. Like it's like that. Everybody jokes that it's one application that just cannot be killed. Like everybody relies on that.
Hey, Tushar,
And oh, sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
I have a question here by one of the participants.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, go
Um,
ahead.
Two comments. One S
Oh,
Web shares that they are um
oh, yeah. Like
they don't
McKinsey
know
study.
many
Yeah.
things. Yeah, that
Yeah.
he doesn't know,
Absolutely.
or that
Yeah.
they don't
I'll,
know too
I'll
many
absolutely look it
platforms.
up. And Kathy, can I get an email and I'll send that out? I'll absolutely send that out. So if you can send me an email, I'll absolutely email that one to you.
Okay.
Needless to say, funny thing is that I had actually used Perplexity to find that study. So I hope it didn't hallucinate, but I do have that. So I'll send that out to you. Thanks, Kathy. I got it. Sorry about that. I will keep an eye on the chat as well. I
Yeah,
got
and
the
I'll
email
keep an
and
eye on it, Tushar. Don't worry. You can keep
yeah.
presenting when it come up. I'll just interrupt and I'll share the question or the comment, and then you could address it and keep going back.
Absolutely. Absolutely. No, and yeah, thanks, Kathy. Thanks for the question. And sorry, I love this interactive mode, by the way, because we have like over an hour and there's no way I like I have enough material for so discussions are always helpful for learning on both sides. So one is a heavy amount of email and messaging where that's the beauty because these are all generative tools. So we can do wonders with these, and I can show you some other ways I'm deploying them every day. And then there is like meetings and stuff, and researching and writing drafts, and needless to say, actual strategic work. So the biggest thing, from my experience, where it has helped me as a founder is I because just like everybody. So even though we have a large team, we have a I'm the face of the company, and I get just like everybody here on the call. I get bombarded with easily 50 plus emails every day, and that gets so tactical that I I wish so I always joke that I wish I had more time to do a little bit of strategic thinking. But some of these tools are helping to give me that time now. And especially let's jump into some fun stuff. So before we so and needless to say, these are just some examples. And so Willow Voice is something I recently discovered. Just out of curiosity, how many here on the call um, you like use AI dictation? Oh, oh yeah, and I think Daniel is asking about that as well. So Daniel, I'll definitely send that to you as well. So please, by the way, everybody, please send your emails as well, so I can compile it and send that out. By the way, just out of curiosity, uh, I'm assuming everybody like uses some sort of dictation these days. Um, when they're whatever it could be texting or emailing or whatever so what happened was so I primarily use Mac, and there's a native dictation tool on Mac as well which works pretty well, but it's a little buggy. It's not 100%. So I was on a hunt for a better AI tool because that is not only immensely time saving, but it also avoids physical injuries because like most of us, I'm consistently typing a lot of stuff. And so one of the one that I have been tinkering with is this tool, Willow Voice. I don't know if you heard of this one, but Um, can everybody see the, I think everybody can see this icon here. So, so this is the icon for Willow Voice. And the advantage of this is I kid you not, this one works flawlessly. This one, so far, I have been extremely happy, and it creates these shortcuts like hotkeys on your desktop, which technically even Mac does that. But for some reason, I have had trouble invoking Mac, and it also hijacks. With Mac, I've seen it hijacks your audio. So let's say you have multiple tabs, like I do, like you're watching Netflix in one, and as you're juggling, you tend to realize that your keys, like your keys got hijacked by your Mac. So I switched to this Willow Voice, and it's free. The basic package is free, and you can and I, the one thing I will say is that you have to, if you're not, you have to keep trying, testing all of these tools. And now I'm seeing all of these emails here. Maybe we should even start a group and share some of these tools, because I'll be honest. I I I probably only am barely only scratching a surface with some of the learning I'm going through every week. So with Willow, I have seen that they have gamified this as well, like Duolingo. So it actually tells you like, hey, great job, you crossed 1,000 words. Great job, you crossed 2,000 words. And they have this interesting dashboard that also has some of the metrics. But the dictation worked flawlessly. It doesn't interrupt with any other tools. And I'm pretty thrilled that we're at a point now where we can do multiple tasks. And that's the thing with developers as well. I'm sure that we have quite a few developers here on the call. Like most of us developers have started to use more and more voice as well. And that alone is starting to give you a good amount of time back. Like if you're not already using it, I highly recommend like use this tool or any other tool, or like and it's starting to give me a ton of time back. And I see myself cranking out more and more emails and text messages and so forth, like even on our Slack channel, Slack and Teams channel. This sits on top of everything. So you can always invoke with just one key and do that. By the way, and I'm not selling any tools or anything. I'm just kind of going over some of my experience on where we're applying some of these utilities to just free up time, improve efficiency, and also and also like get some time back for the strategic thinking most of us have to do. This is the one that I'm sure everybody's familiar with,
Hey,
Napkin AI,
Tushar.
which we oh, sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
I just wanted to share one of the
Oh,
participants
I
asked
see.
for you to full
Yeah.
screen. That
Sorry,
way
I
you
keep
could.
juggling back and forth. Yeah.
That's okay. No
Yeah,
worries.
sorry about that. Like so I apologize. Yeah. So this is the one. This is the one so these examples, you don't have to worry about the examples here, like but Willow is like very uh easy to use. I think I might be able to. So I don't know if you're seeing this dancing screen. So I invoked um, Willow by pressing a key, and you release it, and it captures everything, and then it, uh, yeah, and then needless to say, you can rapidly crank things out, and that's a dashboard. It's a little gamified version. It kind of gives you like how many, like how much you're using it, and all of that. Napkin AI is another utility where we're starting to our marketing team is starting to use this way more than I am, because Uh, you can start to leverage this. I do not know. So this is a good example. So as you're typing, you can start plugging in this. So usually, here's the thing. For folks that are very familiar with the frontier models, like or like Anthropics and OpenAI and Gemini and all of those. So where everybody can easily say that, well, why a tool and why not just one Gemini? Why not like why not just why not just use one, and why use multiple? Because the way things are going, these frontier models are starting to do everything from designs to creating decks to a bunch of other stuff. Like for example, this deck I was using Claude and Gamma. I was going back and forth to do some of this. So what is the advantage of this is that some of these tools have created such a better user experience that you don't have to, it gives you back time. Like, for example, one of the tools I will show you is I have snuck in one of the tools that we have prepared here, and I'll go over that shortly as well. Why we built a tool when there are different available options. But what happens is that, like for example, in the case of napkin.ai, you can so easily create like infographics or designs that take the context from the content, and you don't have to switch back and forth between multiple tools, have multiple subscriptions, and so forth. And all of these have like entry level pre-pricing. So this is one of my go-to tools these days for stuff you're posting on LinkedIn or stuff you're posting on like any other social channel. So if you're not using it, it's worth giving it a run. And it's pretty much like literally 2 clicks and you're up and running, and they don't charge you for the free tier either. This Notebook LM is, I cannot emphasize how much I love Notebook LM. Like, oh, Notebook LM is, if you were to ask me, I would say, even though everybody knows about it, I think it's a very, very underrated and underused tool. Just out of curiosity, how many folks here, I would love to see how many folks are using Notebook LM here. There's Notebook LM. If you haven't used it, uh, I'll tell you one of the, so every now and then, so we're constantly getting bombarded by, uh, like different type of information. And oh, hi, Chanel. No, so Chanel, so Chanel and everybody, like, I know that. Oh, I think we have a question. Which one is good for screen recording? So so there are a couple of them. One, I would absolutely say Loom is definitely one of the leading ones. That's what our team uses a lot. And there are a couple of other ones that I can send to you, Rao. I will be more than happy to, but definitely use Loom. I think they also have a free tier, and that can absolutely be used. And what I can do is maybe later we can also start like a group, like a conversation or something, and I'll be more than happy to share. Well, one advantage we have is we're a bunch of developers, so you know how we're constantly like tinkering, trying out different tools, finding things. So every now and then we run into different ones. So Daniel, like Notebook LM is fantastic. Let me show you something interesting. So let's go to. So this is Notebook LM, by the way. And the reason why I love it so much, like this is one of our AI. So this is an AI company that we are investors in. We develop software, and I think I was yeah. So I wanted to. So long story short, so UB here is a company that we did software for, we're investors in, and I'm also on the board of this company. And recently somebody said, hey, can you send us a deck or a video or something? And so Notebook LM is owned by Google, and they're keeping on, like literally a year and a half ago when they started, it was just a summarization tool and maybe had an audio overview. But the beauty of this thing is, let's say you get a big video, or you can always go in here and add different sources. For example, you can add a YouTube link, you can add a research article, you can add a, by the way, I'm hoping that everybody can see my screen. And so you can dump copy text. The amazing thing is that it actually creates a podcast, like a very amazing podcast, like which is very human like, and it has like two people like doing a banter on the topic in a simplified version. So you could literally post like a paper on relativity here, and it would summarize it. It would create a podcast. It can create mind maps on it, flashcards, videos, and oh, it is amazing. And you can chat as well as it's creating that. You can literally chat, or you can yeah, you can, like, say for example in the podcast. So if there's a podcast running, I wish we had enough time for me to show some of this, but you can literally ask questions on the podcast as well. So this is like magic to me. Like, even though I'm in technology, like some of this stuff is I think we are definitely at a time where that Arthur Clarke's line, that any advanced tech is indistinguishable from magic, is happening at the moment. And this, like, some of these tools are making me believe that we are starting to get there. Oh yeah, so ScreenFlow. See, I already learned a new tool. Thanks, Audrey. Like, thanks for mentioning that. So I think I should also take notes on here as well. So uh, so Notebook LM is that utility that lets you run any research paper or any video or anything. If you don't have enough time, or if it's a complex topic or something, just run it through this thing. It makes your life super easy. It can create infographic, it can create decks. And so that example I was showing earlier was when somebody asked me for a specialized deck, and I was able to crank that out and create. I just dumped all of that information, what I had, and I created a video overview. I wish I had the video handy. I would have shown it to everybody. So that's the tool, Granola. So interestingly, I learned about granola about a year ago from one of my colleagues at JumpStart. There are 20 tools in this category. We literally had uh, so essentially at the end of the day, this is a transcription service. So it listens to your calls and essentially creates meeting notes like everybody, like a bunch of these other tools we are familiar with, Otter and Fireflies, and there are like 20 different ones. Like even Zoom does it, Google does it. But why Granola? So I started using Granola because I can run it locally, and it runs in the background, so it's not obstructing. It's not obstructing because, like, I'm sure we all attend meetings every day where you have where you have like 20 different bots, like with two people and five different bots on the cluttering of the meeting. And uh, and, and so that's why I started using Granola more and more, because it's silent, it runs in the background, it captures the notes, it does everything. And what we have done in our case is we have actually developed so we so as a team, we develop software, we develop custom software. And what we usually so the process is that we have to capture all these notes, we have to analyze them, we have to scope them out, we have to create proposals, everything. So what we have done is we have created different pipelines on our side internally, where all of these transcription details get fed into um, like some of the tools that we have built, and like we analyze them, we scope them out, and do a bunch of other stuff. But this is that's why I started using more and more. Yeah, like Cowork. How many here are from, just out of curiosity, how many here use Cowork or familiar with Cowork? So I could be. I wish I had a. I so I need to double check this, but Cowork is the tool that was developed by Anthropic in, I think, 10 or 12 days. Uh, I think they started developing it like in December or January, and they released it in a couple of weeks. And it is phenomenal. It is really phenomenal. Like, if you haven't used it, I highly recommend. Like, here is an example. So I always have it. I always have it up and running. And this is like, so I wish I could share more about what I'm working on here, but you can use Cowork for so many things, so many things. Like, I will give you a couple of examples. So recently I started getting a bunch of messages. uh, so Cowork has a thick client that you can install on Mac or wherever. And here. So Raul, like, what Cowork does is it lets you manage a bunch of different tasks with its like a thick client. Like, for example, you could go here and say that, can you help me find uh, like slots on my calendar during next week. Now, I hope it's connected with my calendar, but if not, it will ask you to connect it, and it will go ahead and it will immediately do this. Or say, for example, I'll give you another example. I uh, it's loading tools. It will do its thing. It will listing. I hope everybody's seen my screen. But it will go ahead. It will start analyzing it. It will. You can. The beauty of these tools is The more you use them, the more it will. So it will keep doing its thing. It will, yeah, it will find that out. So Raul, like what it will do is, you can give it tasks. Yeah, you can pretty much say that it is like a personal assistant, 100%, and it is way more efficient. So to give you an example, recently I had to prepare a huge report of a certain type of events we had done for a team, and it was a 2 year worth of data. It was two worth of data. It was like certain type of events, um, where only certain type of people that had attended, where uh, hi, yeah, Dale, like so a certain type of events, certain type of people that I attended between a certain window. So if I had to run this task, um, so see, now it's asking me to use a computer. I will skip it for now because we have a webinar running, but it's asking me to take over the computer. But you can always say enable, and it will go ahead. It will do its thing, and it will create a nice file for you. And uh, so so to give you another example, 2 or 3 years ago, if somebody would have asked me like, "Hey, we need this data. We need it in Excel format and everything." I would have had to use a couple of team members to go through everybody's email, everybody's calendars. It took me literally 5 minutes. I just went to Cowork. I said, take over my calendar. This is the criteria. Create an Excel sheet for me. And it did it. It just went ahead and it did a fantastically formatted Excel sheet with 20 different columns. And needless to say, I was able to like do bunch of analysis on that. But there's so many ways. So another way I used this thing recently. I'm sure everybody gets like those messages from Google or Dropbox where they ask you questions like you're running low on storage, like get another tier, go up another tier. So I got tired of like of over a couple of hundred people on our Google plan. So I was like, I don't want to bump up anymore, 3,000, 4,000 a month. So I just went to Cowork. Just go ahead and help me organize all of amazing report. And it gave me a detail like which were the videos that were demos created like 10 years ago that you haven't used or touched or at all, or and I was able to free up space. I mean, you can do so many things with this thing. Like like earlier, like I cannot show you those emails, but what I'm doing here is every now and then I get flooded with 20 emails. And if I don't have any time, so I usually ask it to run through the emails and help me read through them, create proper responses, and all a bunch of stuff. So you can automate a ton of stuff there. So that is, I hope, Rao, like that gives a little bit of idea. But the more you will work, the more you will use Cowork. I kid you not, it is. You can do ton of stuff here. You can code. You can do like one of my friends. He's a finance guy. He uses it a lot for analyzing financial proposals and everything. So uh, yeah, now suddenly I'm realizing that we don't have enough time to go deeper into some of those cases. But yeah, but that's the co-work, and I was just showing. Oh, Gamma, like so Gamma. I do not know if uh, how many folks are familiar here with Gamma, but Gamma is so that has saved me. So these tools have saved. I'm like, so I've always had to prepare decks because oh yeah, so Chanel is saying she's used Gamma. Yeah, like it is. I'm sure Chanel, like you're like me, it must have given hours back. Like, and not to mention, it creates beautiful presentations. So Gamma is very much like beautiful AI or presentations AI, where at the end of the day, like it is, I'm sure I might have it even open here somewhere. So it's gamma.app, I think. Uh, I think it's gamma.app, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. So you can go here and you can pretty much, yeah, generate or paste a text, whatever your idea you have, and needless to say, it creates beautiful, amazing, and everybody gets like I think 1,000 credits or something when you start out. So the reason for using some of these tools is it not just to create a pretty deck, but they are generative tools. So, for example, recently we had to create help somebody to make a presentation for their investors, and I really did not have time to run a research on that particular domain and everything. And so I used a combination of Gamma and Beautiful AI, and it it not only created the deck, but it added a lot of relevant information, including pro formas and everything, and it created a fantastic. So this is these two. This is really really valuable. Like yeah, so Gamma or Beautiful AI, or I think anybody does decks anymore by hand, or if you are, you should. Um, I know that many are like, well, why not Canva? Yeah, you can absolutely do that as well. But to me, uh, literally crank out a deck by literally saying that, yeah, I have a presentation on how to get tens of hours a week back on AI. Go ahead and make the deck, and I'm positive that whatever it will prepare, you'll be almost 80% there. So, oh, this is yeah. So here I'm giving our own tool a shout out here. So BiMellow was a utility. So let me show this to you. So we just like everyone, we also everyone here, we also have our own products. We also have our own tools, and we also have our own uh, um, uh, kind of like a pathway where we have to go out and find angel investors or VCs or so run a bunch of presentations. So Vibe AI is a product we recently built, and I'll let you know why I have it here. I know there's a little bit of bias because we built it, so I think it is really cool. But I'll tell you the reasoning behind building this tool. So we so just like everybody here, we have to create bunch of presentations and decks and videos and everything. And what happened was we realized that even though we have all of these tools that I'm showing, like for example, I was just talking about like I have to create a video. I have to create a video of how many hours I can save each week using AI tools. So I have Gamma.app, I have Claude, I have Cowork, I have Notebook LM. So I have all of these tools. So what happens is that usually these are kind of like one-shot programming where you give a command, you give a prompt, and you say that okay, go and make it, and then they make it. Like for example, you could literally say that here. On where did Gamma go? So you could literally go on Gamma.app and say that uh, okay, Gamma, like help me generate a deck from one line prompt in a few seconds, and it will create a deck. But then you do technically you do have control over that deck, but you have to go in and you have to keep on tinkering it. So let's say you're using Canva, you have to go and you have to tinker with it. So we thought, why not? Why not come up with a tool where people can select predefined themes? So here you have all of these themes, right? So you can very much say that, I really like this theme, and here you have a normal chat, AI chat, where you can say that, okay, I want to use, and you can want to use this particular theme that I just selected to go in and create a video, um, different news to get back minimum 10 a week, and it creates a enter in a design mode, and you can also edit like you can literally pick an element, and you can also chat in natural language interface, and you can say that okay, change the selected element. So that's why we've been tinkering about this utility, and so we built it, and it's an AI tool. And I thought, since we are showing different utilities, why not show this one? Because quite a few folks here are founders or product managers and so forth, and we all need to use these utilities. So that's so let me so that's a vibe metal. Moving on to, yeah, so Perplexity, everybody uses it. I will not spend too much time on it. Perplexity is usually good for research. Like I was talking about that McKinsey thing. earlier when a lot of folks were like, "Oh, we'd love to take a look at that study." So I use Perplexity. That okay, I like how many hours? Like, is it true? Is it true that so I was doing brainstorming with Perplexity, and I'm sure everybody does. If not, I highly recommend use these tools to brainstorm your ideas, like because they're super creative. They have access to the entire world's data, and they're super fast. So I was discussing with Perplexity about like how many hours on an average everybody gets back, and are there any citations you have and everything. And so Perplexity is great for that kind of thing. Needless to say, they're I these days they're all so good that you could very well say, well, Tushar, like Claude is equal. I was yeah, I'm not saying yes, no, but Perplexity has a little bit of like a better umbrella. It goes and taps into more different different tools in the background. So that's why I thought of mentioning this. So you can, and another thing is that there's several ways you can get like Perplexity for like $10 a year. I can absolutely talk about that later as well. You can get a pro version for super cheap, because every now and then you run to these different deals. Um, this is a tool that here's the thing. So uh, Sift is a interesting tool that I just learned, and I'm still tinkering with it. So I will let everybody else also play with it and get back. But where Sift actually helps you is with your go-to-market strategy. So it helps you validate your idea with the real data. For example, by constantly releasing multiple products throughout the year. Like I'll show you a couple of other products we have recently done. We'll have to do some sort of like a market research and do idea validations and always use a frontier model for some of this. But what happens is that these utilities make your life easier. You don't have to be a exceptional at prompting. You don't have to uh, know exactly what questions to ask. So these tools make some of that easier. And Sift is definitely one of them that I'm hearing more and more. And so I thought of adding here, although like other tools, I haven't used it this much. So I'm myself, like along with you, going to play more and more with it in the coming days. So yeah, this is kind of like a screen of Sift if you haven't already seen it. So yeah, here. So maybe I'll get to take a small pause here and just see like so far if any of this is resonating with folks, and you have any ideas or any other things that we should talk about. Like so far, is this on like is everybody like finding our conversation useful? Yeah, I think everybody's silent, so hopefully it is resonating with folks. I take. Oh, Chanel, yeah. So no, thanks, Chanel. And uh, what? So if you're, oh, thank you, thanks, Annette, and thanks, Audrey. And so one thing I would highly recommend is of all of these tools, if you're to ask me which tool we should use in the next coming week, I would highly recommend download Claude Cowork and start using it as a personal assistant. It will, it will. Kathy's saying it would be helpful to hear more about the application of these tools. Yeah, absolutely. And so Kathy, one of the things I will do is, let me see. Okay, I will spend some time on that, and I will ignore some of the other slides. But I would, uh, oh yeah. So I will first, so I would highly recommend using Claude Cowork. Um, as a number one. I would say download it, start playing with it. You have to get your hands dirty with it, and then you start seeing multiple applications. You start seeing 20 other applications where you can use it. Oh, interestingly, I tell people that when all of us started, so I'm old. I started using internet in the early days, and so in the early 2000, I offline to online. Like like for example, if I was going somewhere, usually I used to call them to see when they're going to close. But then I had to train myself. Then the web and start looking at the closing time, so forth. So I had to I have to do the shift with everything I'm doing, where I have to ask myself 20 times a day, whatever I'm doing, can that be done better, quicker using AI? And odds are yes, like most of the stuff are yes. And to answer like David's question. So David, definitely there are different tools that I wonder if I can capture some of these emails as well. And David, yeah, there are definitely some tools that you can use for technical report building. One of the ones I have used, I don't know if let me share this one. And this will also answer Kathy's question. So I think Lindy.com is no, not Lindy.com. Lindy AI and .ai. So Lindy.ai is so there are a couple of tools that I have not shown yet, mainly because they start getting into a little bit of there's this slide. Let me go ahead and show you the slide. One slide. It is we have it here. So these are the different levels, right? So oh, not this one. So I don't know if uh, uh, everybody can see the slide. So so right now we're here, level one. We have all of these different AI tools. And then there are these different level two utilities that get into this a little bit of like, I wouldn't call it programming, but you have to define workflows. Like, I don't know how many folks have heard of N8N or Zapier, everybody knows probably. Cowork is kinda in that area, although I would say that Cowork can also fall under level one. So there are some of these workflow tools. And then where as Big Kitty Labs, where we fall usually into is either on level two or level three, where we help you with those two areas because they require a little bit of analysis, a little bit of programming, especially level three. Level three is where you have identified a gap that can be mitigated using AI. For example, recently we worked with a group. They had a huge problem of entry level attrition, where people were joining, learning certain set of workflows, and after they had learned, they were leaving. And this happened in September, October, when they reached out to us and said, "Guys, like we're just tired of like spending few months. to- They learn it, everything, and that's where we understood those workflows, and we created AI agents with a human in the loop that started. So that helped them stop that question. Sorry, I haven't forgotten about that. So I think they. So one of the things we can do. So I do not know on the top of my head exactly what scenario you're looking at, David, but. Lindy, I have used Lindy. I don't know if I have my credential handy, but Lindy is one of those where you can do some easy setup. So Kathy, so one of the examples. So I'll tell you where So this is usually how my calendar looks, guys. I just to show everybody. So today it's better because I'm headed to a conference, but I have like several back-to-back meetings all the time, and sometimes I forget that some of my meetings are out of town, and I started running a lot into scheduling issues. So I went to Lindy and I created a workflow, and I connected my calendar to it. And I said that anytime I have a meeting that is outside of these zip codes, start sending alerts, because what happened was there was a day. Of course, you could very well say, well, you have a scheduling problem. You need to just get another admin to help you with your calendar management. But I I get a lot of emails and I'm a bit unorganized by nature, but I was able to create a Lindy AI, like a workflow where I gave a couple of zip codes and I said, like, anytime I'm scheduling a meeting away from here and I'm trying to schedule a meeting close by, start flagging that immediately. So that, because it happened many times that I had a meeting in Dayton, and right after that I had a meeting in Columbus or something. So I know this is not a unique scenario. This is not a typical scenario, but another one that probably folks can another one that probably folks can relate with is I was looking for a new car, and I just did not have time last year to look for a new car. So I went to I think I used Lindy or one of the and in one of those agentic workflows where I created an agent. It not only started looking for a type of vehicle I was looking for, but it started chatting with those folks. So it literally was texting, chatting, negotiating on my behalf and everything. And I had given it exactly what amount I wanted to pay for. And this agent started finding these vehicles for me in that price and started conversations with different um, car sales. It helped me find. So there's several ways, and I know, Kathy, one of the things I can do is, I know we are closing on 1 p.m. Can do is I have quite a few. One of the things I can do is I would love for everybody to do one-on-one chat, and we can do a deeper dive. But answer your question properly yet, but I know that there are a couple of tools we can use, like kind of like a level two utilities, where we can absolutely develop, or I mean, you can absolutely implement technical report building. And I can also ask my colleagues, and they can also recommend some other tools as well. But moving on to okay, so I'm looking at, sorry, I'm reviewing some of the questions.
I think,
Um,
and I can help with this.
s-
I wonder if maybe you're on Rao's question. He writes here, knowledge of AI
Let me
tools is
see.
good.
Oh, which one is? Sorry, I
Uh,
I might.
Oh, no worries. I think it's Rao Shelley. I'm so sorry if I mispronounced your name, but they write
Uh-huh.
knowledge of AI tools is good. Would it be possible to share the tool and its main purpose after the session?
Oh, 100%, 100%. What I can do is I can compile that list, send it to Ed, and Ed, like, it would be great if and guys, like, here's my email. I so I think earlier, like Audrey or somebody, when they posted ScreenFlow. So the reason why I'm mentioning that is, like, I had never heard of that. So I learned it as well. So that's why I'm thinking that if we connect with each other, I'm sure it's sharing this information helps even us learn about some of this, because physically there's no way we can know any, like, all of this stuff. Like, there are 20 different ways we can solve each of these things. Our goal is just to identify the right one. And so I'm posting my email here, and please feel free to reach out to me. I'm also posting my phone number here. Feel free to like by the way, one on that note, I have a slide here, and Ed, like, you might remember this slide from our our last. So this is a high level. So let's say, for example, let's say, like, so, at a personal level, we have all of these utilities that are pretty much, most of them are free. And so leveraging that, we start getting some time back and everything. Then there are, like, AI workflows, like, for example, David's question about, like, okay, I have some data, and I want to do, like, say, technical reporting on top of that data. What are the different tools I can use? And David, I'm positive one of the ones that you can probably use is here's another one called N8N. I don't know if how many folks have N8N. So N8N.io. So this is the one where you can create different. It's pretty much like drag and drop, and you can get a little bit of, like, tinkering and everything. But this is a really good graphical user interface, having utility that you can use to create certain type of workflows. Then so that's the area, level two. And level three is where, like I was talking about, you want to improve your inefficiencies within the organization. You want to identify, how do you do that? And there was a Uh, okay, here, this one. Um, so usually this is how scoring is done. So there are repeatable flows. Like for example, let's say we work with insurance companies, bunch of agents there. They receive certain set of information that has to be processed. A lot of repeatable stuff. So you score like different things, and you assign different type of scoring, and then there is you know there's a risk level, and how is a process like already defined, or like is it like how much manual intervention is done. So there is scorecard, and based on that scorecard, like if it tells you when like the higher the score, yes, you can absolutely go ahead and automate that task, and that sort of thing. So there is I wish I had a couple of more slides, but there are ways where you can start to identify different workflows in your organization and start automating them as well. And that's the level three. So I'm sorry, I'm jumping back and forth because of how we're discussing between some of these questions. I'm thinking that I could have oh um, yeah. So sorry, I didn't get the Daniel's last question. So Ed, like I'm assuming that's for you, right? Which city is CPL? Oh, Cleveland. So one of the that being said, I thought, okay, so, since it's 1 p.m., maybe we can probably do some Q&A, and I would love to yeah, I would love to like see if I can take a crack of some of these answers, or um I can even so we are a team of like 120 designers, developers. So even if I cannot answer anything, I can always have one of my colleagues help us with the answer, and I can reach out to you. So any questions that anybody has, or um because I rambled through a lot of content in the last 1 hour.
I
I will
have a
absolutely compile the
question.
list of tools. Yeah.
I
Sorry,
have
go
a
ahead.
question to kind of jump off while people maybe think of something. And I don't know, and please forgive me if you had already talked or touched on this, Tushar, but it's more of like a piggyback question to a question Kathy had shared in the chat
Yeah.
on
Yeah.
Claude Cowork. I think that
Yeah.
you touched on a little
Yeah.
bit
Yeah.
saying that that was a platform that you recommend people to play around and experiment with as using
Very
it as
much.
an
Yeah.
assistant.
Very
What's
much.
a
Yeah.
way that Claude Cowork has helped you and with the work that you do and work that you do across your team? Like, what's an example that it has helped you automate and save time in that way?
Yeah. So let me, that's a really good question. I think somebody had a question. So, Kathy, like you can probably see, I had said like, okay, help me go and find like different available slots on my calendar. So it went
Mhm.
ahead and it found all of those slots. Like it went ahead and found those slots on the calendar. And then the same vein, like let's say I wish I had like a spreadsheet or something ready. You could very much say that, okay, go ahead and modify the spreadsheet by taking data from this particular email and modify this particular spreadsheet. So you can pretty much do ton of stuff. Like I talked about like say for example, you can always ask it a question like, can you help me free up the storage on my G drive, right? So it will say that, well, I'm not going to delete it, but I'll help you identify. I'll help you. So it will go ahead and it will work on it. And here's the beauty: like every now and then you run out of tokens, but it will tell you that, well, wait for a couple hours and you'll get more tokens. So here you can probably see, so it's scanning your drive for the biggest storage hogs, videos, large files. This thing can this thing can, like, I think our imagination is our limit now, because it can do ton of different stuff. You can literally say that, hey, I have this set of workflow. Can you help me develop a mind map or something? Needless to say, you can always say, well, ChatGPT can do that. But yes, but this thing sits on your local, and it's become like somebody said here in the chat, like, yeah, is it like your personal assistant? I said, yes, it's 100%. So now it's going out, working on identifying files, identifying. You can, so. Oh, by the way, another thing I would love to show to everybody is how many folks here, how many folks here use uh, like uh, so how many folks here use this help me write feature in your Gmail or anywhere? Let me see how many folks. I'm assuming you do because
I'm one of
it
those
is
people.
fantastic. Oh, sorry, what's that?
I'm one of those people.
Yeah, it is. It is amazing. It is amazing. Like it is even amazing on your mobile app. So what I literally do is uh, I don't have to think about yeah, like yeah, Daniel is using it, and somebody said they disabled it. So where I use it, I'll tell you like how I've been using it. So lately this is I'll be honest. I know there's a lot of folks that will say, well, you're going to eventually able to stop. You will stop thinking, Tushar, like because I'm so that is I'm not denying that possibility. But let's say for example, here we go. I got an email from like one of my friends, Zach. And actually, I'll instead of showing Zach's email, I'll just say that okay, I signed. So this was, let's say this was an email. And another thing I started to do was even on the mobile app, I just I just blabber a response, and I pretty much say yes, send it. So everything I'm responding to emails under 30 seconds now. Under 30 seconds now, because all you have to do is just get the context, get to. So I mean, there's I know some of these things seem probably pretty minor, but they have started to give back. Oh my goodness, so much time, so much time. Not to mention one thing I would highly recommend everybody to do. Of course, take this with a pinch of salt. Is like if you travel as much as I do, I pretty much like upgraded to Tesla self-driving, which is another AI you can adopt. And their version 14 is flawless, but that's a conversation for another day. But Edward, like, yeah, so let's go back to our cowork and see okay, here's what it did. Can you see like it went ahead and it found videos owned by you 1.3 gigabytes, like all of these you can like Redbud, it's one of our tools. And so it found out like bunch of demos and videos and all of that stuff. So and it gives you a little bit of idea. So it won't delete it, by the way. It won't delete it because it wants you. This is where human in control is very valuable. So but there are like 20 different things you can do. Like I was given that example where somebody wanted me to go through my calendar and sift through a bunch of stuff and uh, uh, and uh, and create a report for we were calculating certain hours spent on certain activities. And this thing, like I was like, there's no way I'm going to do this manually, and use that personal assistant and crank it out. That being said, like any more examples, Edward, or something that another tool we had created. I'll show this to folks. Oh, where is it? Oh yeah. So here we go. Yeah, here are some. Okay, so Lindy, I was talking about. Let me see. So here are some fun tools to play with. I don't know if folks have played with Opus Clip yet. If you haven't, and if you're creating a lot of videos that go out on your, say, for example, we recently did. Um, so we were one of the uh, kind of like a co-organizers of an event that happened in Cincinnati. Got access to. So one of my friends, I said, "Hey, do you want to bring this Unitary robot with you to the event?" And I was like, "Oh, of course." So we created a bunch of long videos, and we wanted to create certain clips and send those out to LinkedIn and other areas. You can use tools like Opus to short clips, and and I learned this from my friend. So I have not used it as much as some of my colleagues have. But if you are a spreadsheet person, Julius is worth tinkering with. You can chat with your spreadsheets. You can literally chat with the spreadsheets and run. quick analysis and charts and formulas and everything. So it's pretty interesting. By the way, Panthera Cal is another utility we built. So this was built because I consistently run into an issue where if I'm writing an email to Edward, for example, I'm saying that, okay, Edward. So Edward says, Tushar, let's get together next week. So every time I respond, of course, I can always go to Calendly or something to find my time slots. But what if there are like two people on our team that are involved? So Panthera sits, it's a plugin that sits on your so Chanel has used Opus Clip. Yeah, Chanel, you're pretty savvy. You've been using a lot of tools. I like it. So uh so so what you can do is um so using this utility we developed, Panthera Cal, it sits on your emails and it does natural language processing as you type. So for example, if I'm sending an email to Edward saying, hey Edward, how about like on July 26th? And it will show you opening open slots on July 26th right there in that context window without you having to switch a tab and go to your calendar or go to Calendly and find everything. So oh yeah, Reclaim AI, I haven't used as much, but that's another one that you can use for like a calendaring and other tools. But that being said, like I know Kathy, you mentioned we needed like to see some more examples, and Ed, like we can definitely I can try to think a few more how I use different things, but feel free to. I would love to learn some from everybody else here as well. So Ed, like any tools you use that you're fond of?
Yeah, as far as tools that I use, I mean, in my personal, I think that I want to actually take your advice from this webinar and experiment with Claude. I've been hearing more and more people speak on it. I haven't really
Oh
experimented
yeah,
with it enough. I've mainly
yeah,
just stuck with the ChatGPT, Google
yeah,
Gemini. And for my internal work, I experiment a lot with Copilot.
yeah,
I think
yeah.
that
Copilot
one
is
is,
yeah,
I have enjoyed Copilot a lot as far as it relates to my internal work, the stuff that I do here at JumpStart, just because in one of the best ways that it has helped me, kind of like Claude, what you just showcased is in maybe identifying time slots in meetings that may require multiple people to be present in that virtual meeting, instead of having to have like a
very
crammed
true.
computer screen where you're clicking on names and you're trying to find a specific time slot, like having the AI bot find the time slots across different parties that are in the organization is extremely helpful. It also has helped me too
Did
as
I
far
lose?
as
Did we
like,
lose it?
oop, did I disconnect
Oh,
there?
sorry. Oh, yeah, yeah. Just for us, it could be on my side because I'm traveling. So
Oh,
sorry
no
about that.
worries. That's okay. I was just saying that like it has helped me with essentially like scheduling meetings. But another way that has helped me as well is in like locating emails. Maybe sometimes Outlook tends to hide emails a certain way, or maybe I archived it on accident. Like being able to toggle the Copilot and give a descriptor of that email, and then it helped me find and locate it has been extremely helpful. And or for any documents that are internal to the organization, like on SharePoint or OneDrive, it has been extremely helpful on that front. So like really those are the different
Yeah,
platforms that I
yeah,
have used that I have enjoyed. I want to experiment with Claude because
yeah.
you're mentioning here in the webinar, but I have actually like worked with the clients, small business client from JumpStart who has shared with me that they have been using it to develop logic models for their education
Very true.
programs.
Yeah,
Um, and
it
yeah, so
is.
I kind of want to experiment with it.
It is definitely like I'm sure everybody here on the call has experienced this as well. Um, I remember the time, and when I say the time, I'm talking like talking like a year ago. Like literally a year ago, when you use some of these tools, they used to hallucinate so much more. Like images used to have like, typos and garbage in them. And just within a year, we have come so far along with some of this. It is fascinating to me. Another tool if you're doing lots and lots of graphics and stuff, there's no doubt that Midjourney still is one of the best ones. But the thing is that like these models are getting so much better at everything that they are they're starting to take over different domains. Like for example, when we were creating this vibe mellow that I was showing earlier, for a lot of people were joking that we're going to get killed by Notebook LM, which very well might be true. That Notebook LM is it's Google. Google is behind them, so I'm sure. What is stopping them from, you know? But that's a that's another conversation for most of us founders here. That how do we build a moat? But that being so, anyone here on the call like have any questions or any interesting things that we can dabble in the we have? No?
So sorry.
So
I
maybe
forgot to unmute myself.
no.
Um, as a question that someone wrote in the
No,
chat that I
sorry. Go
think
ahead.
it was when I was speaking on Copilot, but someone writes, "Do you think SIFT is good for going to market strategies with in new markets? Same product, new market?"
I learned about this tool literally a couple of days ago, so I have not used it myself, but I thought that was an interesting niche that they have found. And I brought it up because most of us here on the call have to do that uh,
Hmm.
market analysis. So that's why I mentioned it. But what I will do is I will play with it myself. And I'm glad like everybody's sharing their emails here because that it is so much more fun when it's a collaborative effort. Because um, funny thing, like I need to show this to everybody. You have to see this. Like when I say that, this is a funny. So. Let me share my screen for a minute, and I'm showing my emails. So so here you can probably parse please. So parse please was as you can see, I don't know how many folks can see my email, but you can look at the timestamp on these emails, right? Parse please 09, 11, 10. So parse please was a utility. It's PARC. It used to be a utility that we developed in 2009 in overload. This is because I used to think in those 15 years ago. And that's when we started tinkering with natural language processing, where we were doing summarization, sentiment analysis, and all of that. And so we called it parse please because it was parsing the content. It was trying to get a sentiment out of it. It was summarizing it. And it was for rapid. So now fast forward 16 years, there's literally thank you so much, Tom. Really appreciate your kind words, sir, and thanks for sharing the email. If it's okay with everybody, I will at least send everybody whoever's emails I have here at least one thank you note because I really appreciate this because there's no way one person can learn everything here. Like we are in a very it's like an express train and there's we all of us have to get together and like you know literally like think out of the box because like for example like Kathy was saying like can you show a few more examples like yeah 100% like I can show a few examples but I'm sure there's like at least five other people on the call who might have used Cowork for something I haven't even thought of. So there's Annette, thanks for your email. But that is a like so going back to that parse please thing, so we were trying to create information management system then I and now like it's just impossible. Like now there's so much more happening with so much more velocity. So that's why uh I was thinking that maybe we should have like a one of the things we can probably do, Ed, is do a follow-up session in like 2 more months to see if everybody is if this has helped everybody and maybe they have discovered more tools. We should probably have this like every couple of months and that will be, and I can, one of the things I can do. So I'm just calling everybody here team because we're all a team. So team, one of the things we can do is I can bring on my CTO and some of the geeks on the a couple of folks here, if that's okay with Ed and JumpStart team, and they are really on the cutting edge of some of this stuff. So they might be able to help us with some more things that we can probably learn from them as well. But yeah, but I that being said, like if nobody has questions, I would love to give everybody 15 minutes back, or we can have Q&A. And Yeah, and I know everybody here was pretty much joined here during lunchtime, so I'm very thankful.
Yeah, everyone, if you guys have any final thoughts, any final questions that you want to ask Tushar, now would be the time to speak or forever hold your peace.
Yeah, and I was going to joke that when I'll send you all emails, I promise I won't be using co-work. I'll send a personal note. They'll be like, Tushar, use it. Tushar tricked us by by using an AI agent to send emails. No, I'll absolutely send personal emails by tomorrow morning. But thank you so much, everybody. Like this was a pleasure, and I really, really appreciate everybody carving out time out of their day and joining me. And let's stay in touch, everyone. By the way, my name is Tushar, and I'm with Big Kitty Labs. Thank you. Thanks, Seamus. Thanks, Audrey. Thanks, Lauren. Thanks, Chanel and Rao and Jamie and Tom and Daniel and John and yeah, everybody. If I missed anybody's names, I apologize. And mainly Ed and JumpStart team. Thank you so much. And Lauren, thanks.
Of
This was
course,
phenomenal. And Mr. Like Miss Webb, like thank you. Dale, thanks.
of course. And
Thanks,
I'll do
guys.
some closing remarks here for everyone.
Thanks,
We'll
Annette.
have, we always have more webinars coming up in the second and third Wednesday of every month. You can find these webinars and other Jumpstart and partner events at jumpstart.org/events. And then at the end of
Yeah,
today's session and in the follow-up email, you'll receive a brief survey. We appreciate your feedback as it allows us to continue to bring in experts and entrepreneurs to teach valuable lessons like this. And please be on the lookout for Tushar's email and any other information that we'll send on
yeah.
AI and the different platforms that you can use. You guys will be receiving that at the end.
Yeah.
So
Thanks.
yeah, be on the lookout to that. Thank you so much for
Thanks,
everyone
Ed.
attending.
Thanks, Ed. Thanks, everyone.